I have been involved with the Schenectady Theater for Children for 20 years as an actress, as a president of the board, backstage, pretty much done it all, costumes, and I absolutely love the group, and they are doing wonderful work. We've been around for 50 years, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, longer than Sesame Street, as we like to boast.
And give us a thumbnail of what you guys really do, because I think it's impressive.
Sure. Well, I'll give you a little bit of our history. We started, as I said, 50 years ago as a project of the Junior League, if you're familiar with the Junior League. And their goal when they foster these programs is to just foster them and then send them off into the world to do what they set out to do. And I think we've done a pretty good job at doing that. So the goal was to bring theater, live theater, to children who wouldn't necessarily have an opportunity to see live theater. And that would be kids in rural schools, kids in inner city schools, and that's been pretty much our mission from the beginning. We put on a full-length play for schools that's an hour long, and we bring in lights, sets, costumes, actors, the whole shebang. And the kids are mesmerized. It's just wonderful to watch their interest.
So you're a road show.
We're a road show, exactly right, a trunk show, yeah. And so as the years went on, we realized that there were other aspects of theater that we could bring to schools, and we also have branched out to libraries, museums, nursing homes even, and we started something, oh my goodness, probably 30 years ago, called the Great Minds series. And in the Great Minds series, we have actors who portray people from history.
People from history that actually lived.
Oh yes, exactly right. Yeah, not fictitious,
fairy tales,
not fictitious people, but people who actually lived, who made some impact on the arts, theater. Do we have any politicians? We have past presidents. We have my absolute favorite, of course, is Mother Jones, Mary Harris Jones, who was a labor organizer in the late 19th and early 20th century, especially working with the coal miners.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and her story is pretty interesting.
You portray
and I
her.
portray Mother Jones, much to my delight. Yes.
In a dress. I'm not sure I've ever seen you in a dress. Other than
Yeah, I wear a dress when I'm Mother Jones. I wear a dress when I'm Georgia O'Keeffe, and yes, and I even wear a dress when I'm Marie Curie. So
really, you do Marie Curie too?
I do. Yeah, that was I was asked to bring Marie Curie to life by the Polish church in Schenectady, St. Adalbert's, and I performed at their festival this summer, a couple of shows, and it was pretty amazing, especially to have native Polish speakers who could help me with my pronunciation of some of the names and places that I mentioned in her story. Yeah, I learned a lot about science too, because as I like to say, I'm not a scientist, I'm an English teacher. So.
Right, but that's a great story.
Hers is a really fabulous story,
and for young people and for young women to realize that somebody can go on in the sciences that way.
Yeah.
And actually set all sorts of new benchmarks for things.
Yeah, her story is pretty amazing, and her daughter carried it on, as you may or may not know, and her daughter and her son-in-law went on to do some pretty great things.
So another married couple of scientists.
Right, yeah,
wow.
yeah.
It's cool.
So these Great Minds series, people can contact Schenectady Children.
Schenectady Theater for Children.
Schenectady Children.
That's
for
right.
Yes.
We get all kinds of names.
Yes. Is it right there?
As long as you have Schenectady and Theater and Children's in some order, you'll find us. Yes. Our website is stcny.org, and you can contact me. Kate will give you my phone number and email address. You can contact our bookings person. You can go to our website and fill out our contact form, and people can, someone will definitely respond in a time.
And so all kinds of groups can.
Yes, as I said, when we first started, the elementary schools were where we perform most of the time. Our first home was in an elementary school in Schenectady. Our second home was the Schenectady Museum. Our third home was Mohawk Mall. Our fourth home was Channel 16, where you used to be one of your homes.
Right. Yeah, okay.
The home we shared.
Which is now Habitat for Humanity.
And then, where did we go after Channel 16? I feel like we went, did we go to Rotterdam? I think we went straight to Rotterdam Mall from Channel 16, and that's where we are now. And they've been very kind to us.
Do you have a studio as well in Rotterdam Mall?
Well, we do have a studio. In fact, right now, as we speak, actors will be rehearsing there and getting ready to put Bremen Town musicians on the road. And so we do have space for rehearsal. We do have, in our studio, we have an open mic that is available for kids, a kids open mic. Usually the kids are from 8 to 18 who perform there, and that's a lot of fun. We've had musicians, we've had drummers, we've had singers, we haven't had any spoken word. I keep trying to get the spoken word kids interested in showing up at our open mic. So that we use our studio for the open mic and for rehearsals. But Rotterdam Mall has been very kind to us. We have a summer camp that lasts 2 weeks, and at the end of the camp, the kids put on a full-length play. Last summer they did Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm not sure what they're going to do in August this year. Should be announced fairly soon.
Yes, but
The kids
before
like to know.
August,
Yes,
you have 2 other camps.
yeah, we
coming
do.
up.
We have the February camp, which last year was comedy improv, and it's backed by popular demand. The kids really had a blast with that, and I saw their show. In a week, Joe, they put on this show that's worthy of Saturday Night Live.
Is that right?
It was hilarious. I was blown away with how well
Now,
these kids did.
do you use part of the mall for the show?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, so our studio is small. So, as you know, when you have kids in the performance, mom and dad and grandmothers
Right,
and
right.
grandfathers. So our studio is too small to accommodate all of them. And the mall has been very kind to give us larger space to use during our camp weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, they have been really good to us, the Rotterdam
Wow.
Mall.
So you have a camp week in winter vacation.
Exactly right, yep, the
Winter
February
break
vacation.
and spring break.
Yep.
And then also
The last 2 weeks of August.
Yes.
Yeah, last 2 full weeks of August.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah,
Isn't that
and it's been
great?
very popular.
Now, when is your open mic? Do you have them periodically or regularly?
We'll have one in January, although by the time we air it may be over. We'll have another one in May. Because of the other activities, it's hard to have open mic during rehearsals
right,
and
right.
all the other stuff that's going on. So,
But that's just an invitation for people to come in and do something.
yeah, any kids can come in and whatever. In fact, the last time I saw it, there were 5 performers, and kids are so talented. As you know from our
Yeah.
children at the well,
Right.
how talented the young storytellers are. And these musicians were, I mean, they could have put together a band on the spot and taken it on the road.
Now, something that just kind of slipped through and past us was your main stage production. Each year you have the theater on the road, and this year it's this year, yes.
Yes,
We
2016.
tape it a month ahead of time, so this year I think of as next year, but in 2016, the main stage theater production, which will run from March through June, is
The Bremen Town Musicians, which as a storyteller I'm really thrilled about. And if you know the story, the animals who were deemed too old or too useless to carry on their jobs on the farm are cast out, and together they form a band. Which
Mickey Rooney
Yeah.
is the rooster, and Judy Garland is the songbird.
So, and as you know from the story, their music is not particularly pleasing, since it's a dog and a cat and a what else do we have? A
Rooster
yeah,
and a donkey?
Yeah, donkey. Yeah. So yeah, it's a terrible sounds, and I don't want to give away too much, but you can find the story in Grimm anywhere you look. So it's probably not giving too much to find out that they actually saved the day with their
music.
with their music,
presence.
and it's discovered that they are indeed a valuable part of society.